a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, Leiria. Munson here with the Expats Portugal show. Tudo bem? How are you doing? Oh, look at my my green screen. I have to adjust that in just a minute. And I was fiddling about, wasn't really paying good attention on this Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday, where the doc joins us, Andy Thompson, joining us live from the UK, which some people call Plague Island. That sounds to me a little bit negative and unhelpful, but let's see actually what it's like to be, what the atmosphere. We've got the doc, haven't we? We've got the doc on this Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. Ex-GP from the UK, and of course he'll be able to take the pulse. See what I mean? We'll get a lab report, we'll get a CAT scan of what's going on over there in the UK at the moment. Turbulent times for the United Kingdom, and the pound, as you'll have learned from, was it only yesterday? What a stellar lineup we had yesterday, with Sarah Davey from Spartan FX. We had Nunu from Winsurance, and of course Jacqueline Mullen from Mortgage Direct, talking about consumer issues, money, etc. And yeah, the grim times for the UK from that point of view. Let's see what it's really like on the ground from the home of the Peaky Blinders or thereabouts. I think Doc Thomson is in the Midlands this morning, Birmingham. And you've heard the great Garvo doing a few Brummy impersonations. Cup of tea, got myself a nice cup of tea here, and Peaky Blinders, all of that sort of stuff. That's where he'll be this morning from around 9 o'clock. Now, I said I wasn't paying attention. Reason being, Sarah Yerman very kindly putting together a kind of Gumper map for us, where we're basically using Google technology, Google Maps, and we're adding a layer to it of wonderful things that we like, locations mainly, but I suppose that would extend, wouldn't it? If they're locations, that would extend to us chronicling and recording our favorite tourist attractions as well as our local cafes and secret places that you're happy to share with the Gumper Riot here on the Expats Portugal show. So I'll show you work in progress there as well. I've put in the my favorite location in San Martino de Porto. We've got two places now. I've got the Palmeira Cafe. Morning, Nelson, at the Palmeira Cafe, and the Pau Doce Chá Cafe. What is that? The Sweet Tea Cafe. Very good. Where I think that'll be Stubble. Yes, Stubble, where Sarah lives. And I need to do a big old cough. Talking of sweet tea, I haven't drunk and finished my tea yet this morning. So it's very fortuitous that Anna is back from Lisbon. She's had a great time. I think there's a comment from her, lots of comments this morning. But give me a chance to have a little sip on my tea and a good cough. You probably didn't need to know that. But Anna is back. Look at this. Bon dia. Back in Villarreal de Santo Antonio after my Lisbon trip. I did take on some of your suggestions to visit. Now, did somebody suggest? Oh, dear. You may have moved towards the edge of the seat to see how I handle this coughing fit now, with another hour and a half ahead of me this morning. We shall see. I think it's seasonal changes. Mrs. M was talking about it this morning. Black mold season, different kinds of spores in the air. And my goodness, black mold, it's one of the 5 evils of Portugal, you know. Had an amazing, where are those books? Oh, I think they took them downstairs. Louise Ross had an amazing conversation with her yesterday. We were laughing and joking. I mean, they're actually quite serious things if you find yourself on the wrong side of them. But the 5 evils of Portugal, barking dogs, black mold, dog poo, bureaucracy, and I can't remember what the other one was. But we went into them. She and I went into them in some detail. And the bigger conversation really was how to adjust to life in Portugal and to take on board some of those difficult and what you might call negative things, but also how to adjust psychologically and emotionally, which seems to be all the rage. Look at all the YouTubers at the moment talking about Portugal. A lot of them are talking about people not staying, returning home, For me, I take that seriously, but I'm also very interested as to their motivations and what can be done to help people better adjust to life in Portugal, such that their prognosis, such that their chances of staying might be have a little bit more integrity to them, their plans. So great to talk to you yesterday, Louise. Anyway, yes, look, back in VRSA, Anna took a few of us up on our suggestions, had a fantastic time in Lisbon, this being one of them. Who suggested this? Because this looks pretty amazing. You say, I had an amazing stay in Lisbon. I highly recommend the event Lisbon Under the Stars. Here's a highlight from it. Pun intended. Not entirely sure what's going on there. I think it's one of those mega projections, isn't it, against the possibly in Berlin there? Could you let us know a little bit more about that? And maybe even a link, Anna, one of the things you enjoyed on your visit to Lisbon recently. So thank you very much for sharing that. That's definitely a YouTube strike, isn't it? And extra points there. Who was that vocalist? If you recognize the vocalist there, Eurovision is a clue for you. Who was that vocalist there? Beautiful singer. And a lovely audio-visual presentation there in Lisbon that Anna enjoyed. Now back in VRSA, having a break. You need a holiday after that, don't you? Have a rest after a busy time in Lisbon. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much for that. Bon dia alegria from T-Duck, who might not be with us this morning. Got a couple of medical appointments. And yes, a poker face there about the medical appointments. Good luck with all of that, T-Duck. And thank you for all your excellent service to the show and the community. You have a deep thought of the day for us. This is great. This is really helpful. And do you know what? I'm going to preempt this. There's a meme that I've been meaning to share at the beginning of the show for a few days now, and for one reason or another, I distract myself, don't I, as you might have noticed. And I've been distracting myself and forgetting to share this with you. I would like to share this with you now. This is from the Self Love Lounge. Now we get a little flavour of this, don't we, on a Monday, thanks to James the Slug and his wise counsel of a Monday, thoughts from the Redwoods. I think you might appreciate this. Your presence on this planet is incredibly valuable. And you being here during this time means you have a special contribution to make to humanity. Yes, believe it or not, in the cost of living crisis and other turbulence that is distracting us from this possibility, I would say. So stop handing your divine potential over to the limiting beliefs of our current society. How about that? Be brave and step into your greatness. Who's up for that this morning? And another one, if I don't share it now, I'll forget again. I thought this was beautiful as well. Everything Fox official group on Facebook. Never seen that before. But what a beautiful illustration. And you know I want to share more of your creativity, your art and your craft and your songs here on the show. So do send in your work I think this is a beautiful example of some beautifully crafted original work here. Henja Kerkhoff posted this, and the artist is Sam Cannon. So thank you, Sam Cannon. I love your work, and you very beautifully have the inscription of this beneath the snoozing fox in a tree. Life is a balance between holding on and letting go. That's a true Gumper sentiment, isn't it? Life is a balance between holding on and letting go. And I think those are wise words to bear in mind on this migration journey of ours as well. Fabulous. Thank you very much for that. Somebody's talking about Wordle this morning. I don't even know what that is, but I think this might be connected in some way. Thank you, Bob, for this, talking of creativity and music, he was, of course, interviewed here on the show. Bob and Karen were with us. Bob talking about his inspirational music. He's got a Christmas album coming out. Sorry, I know it's only September, but in rock and roll, when you've got a Christmas album coming out, you got to mention it early in the year. My dog, he says, well, he doesn't say it. Deborah Offenhauser says this, and Bob reported it. Quite why, we're about to find out. My dog accidentally swallowed a whole bag of Scrabble tiles. We took him to the vet to get him checked out. No word yet. Ooh, it's like the kid who swallowed change, isn't it? I've ruined the punchline. I'll come back to that. So hopefully no one noticed. Yes, that kid who swallowed some money. Took him to the doctor. Hours later, still no change. Okay. And more dad jokes to come later on in the show, thanks to T-Duck, who shared with us a deep thought of the day then, which is where I was again before I distracted myself. Deep thought of the day. Don't take anything personally, okay? If you are feeling a little bit, what's the word, butt hurt this morning, if you've had your body kicked, if you're a little crestfallen, if you have been hurt, if you've been triggered, how about this? Don't take anything personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. Anonymous had to say that. And thank you, Anne, Anonymous, for that. Very helpful. When you're over the initial hurt, though, I suppose it's important not to, I think, deny one's experience. If you're triggered, you're triggered. If you're hurt, you hurt. It's good to own it. It's good to know what's going on, and maybe then have the realization that maybe I don't need to take this personally. Nothing other people do is because of me. It's because of themselves. There you go. Portuguese saying of the day then as well from T-Duck, as we get ready to welcome Andy the Doc Thomson from the United Kingdom. We'll find out how united it is this morning. Portuguese saying of the day then, o que é barato sai caro. What is cheap is expensive. If you buy cheaply, you pay dearly. Very good. Very good. Wise words there this morning. Portuguese saying of the day, o que é barato sai caro. Caro being dear, of course, you can say that to a person, can't you, as an endearment, literally, there as well. Caro and barato, cheap. Not a word we like here. Okay, smash that like button, he says, before he leaves the door this morning. All the best with your appointments this morning, T-Duck. And maybe see you later on today. We'll see. Bon dia, Gumpers from, you can call me Slug James. Feliz Carta a todos. Aqui tem feito. How you doing? And I cue this from him, I think, this morning. How would it be if the first thing you did each day was to connect deeply to your heart and its unique purpose in the world? Well, that chimes perfectly with the meme I shared. And I think you might appreciate that then, James, saying what you're saying this morning. How would it be if the first thing you did each day was to connect deeply to your heart and its unique purpose in the world? What a bunch of touchy-feely hippies we are. But I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen if everyone did that every morning? Ciao, ciao, yo. Have a great day. Cheers, T-Duck. All the best to you, mate. And God Squad tip of the day. Let's do this now, shall we? Because he snuck in a dad joke to go with his God Squad tip of the day. I was reminded yesterday by my second glass of wine. Coach Turner, his wine is speaking to him. Now, this would make a good little cartoon, wouldn't it? A little, I don't know, another Netflix idea we've got here of talking wine. Like, your glass is whining at you again. I was reminded yesterday by my second glass of wine why I do a little exercise. It's to enjoy life. So don't beat yourself up. Find your balance between activity and joie de vivre. Isn't that amazing? We're talking about balance. We're talking about heart connection this morning on every level. Heart connection in spiritually and mentally and emotionally, and heart connection on keeping it in good shape from the point of view of doing a bit of exercise, as well as drinking, getting to a second glass of wine, as Coach Turner clearly did. And then his glass of wine said to him, you know why? You know what, Coach Turner? Do you know why you do all of this? And then Coach Turner looks at his glass of wine and says, I don't know, glass of wine. Why do I do what I do? Should we sneak in a quick dad joke as well from him? Why is water heavier than butane? Because butane is a lighter fluid. Oh my goodness! I think you might have made that up yourself. And James's cue this quote of the day was by the great J.W. Holly, which sounds a bit like J.R. Hartley, doesn't it? Star of the fly fishing world back in the United Kingdom. Only some people will understand that, like Deagle, perhaps. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers, from a clear blue sky, enough blue to mend a hole in a sailor's trousers. Is that how you say it, Deagle? From a clear blue sky, Belfast should hit the low teens at 12 to 13 degrees today. A few heavy showers this week, and I was looking at low scudding clouds myself this morning as I took the dogs out in the distant horizon. There are some really black, scrawly clouds floating across just above the hills as I look inland from the Silver Coast here. Interesting weather today. Then let's see how it turns out. This was the Wordle mention. Can somebody explain to me what is Wordle? I mean, I see people putting up coloured blocks. Are they yellow and green blocks on Facebook saying, "Oh, not too bad today"? What is it? Anyone do Wordle? Last 2 days, I can't get the answer. Have they started using hard, obscure words, or am I just thick? Anyone else do Wordle in the last couple of days that can help Deagle out with that bit of self-judgment there? It's Guinness Day today. I must be the only Irish person never to have drunk it. Now, Guinness Day, isn't it Guinness Day every day in Ireland? What's the special significance of Guinness Day today? This is possibly it. Guinness was first made by Arthur Guinness on the 28th of September, 1759. That is an ancient brew, is it not? Incredible. 1759, then 28th of September, the first Guinness appeared in the world. I don't know if that's commercially or in his laboratory, but certainly it made its appearance, 28th of September, 1759. Happy Guinness Day, everybody. Oh, for some strange reason, I feel like a Guinness today. Don't look like a Guinness, Carl. Bon dia then from Stephen as well as Jean this morning. How you doing? And what does usurp mean? Oh, okay. So maybe T-Duck does Wordle too. And usurp is a clue with that. Susie in as well. How you doing, Suze? Sorry, I noticed I got a message from you yesterday. I haven't read that yet. And to the way, good dagging again from Baddy. A nice bit of dagging this morning for everybody. And from Optimal Trader, who's in. Ooh, I wonder what you do, Optimal Trader. How's it looking? Are you in the FX or the Bitcoin? What do they call them? Spaces. Are you in the Bitcoin space or the FX space? Interesting times either way, right? I want to ask about the searching for the work visa. Are there any requirements or specifications for that? Says Optimal Trader. And very kindly, helpfully, Optimal Trader James has answered your question already. EI is listed in the business directory at the Expats Portugal website. And let's find that and pop that into the chat so that Optimal Trader knows exactly where he's going. And it was lovely to see the messages of support and encouragement for Gilda continuing to come in yesterday. I'm going to find this for you now, Optimal Trader, the link to, well, actually what I'll do is I'll put the business directory in as a whole, and you'll be able to go and have a look for yourself there at migration and all the other things you need to know about, all the things that you need to know about when it comes to moving to Portugal. There you go, especially for you, Optimal Trader. The link to the Expats Portugal business directory is now in the chat. I see that Dougie and Andy are here this morning already. Andrew, bon dia. It's all right, I've called you Andrew. You're not in trouble. Bye, Randy. Had the first of my physiotherapy sessions yesterday. The porky feet, what? Why are you having physiotherapy? Did I miss something? You seem like the beacon of fitness to me, cycling all over the country and walking up and down dales. The ward was like a mix of a Turkish bath and Carry On Matron. Ooh, matron. What is going on with you, porky feet? Maybe that is the medical condition. Then you've got porky feet and you're having a bit of work done on them at the physiotherapy sessions you mentioned there. Ward in inverted commas. Interesting. Tell us more, Andy. What's going on for you? And we heard from Prosecco Peggy yesterday, didn't we? And lots of love to you, Prosecco Peggy, and your leg and ankle injury. Godspeed. The bad news, says Doug, is that the UK economic woes are hitting the UK expats abroad too. People with UK pensions, yes, of course, and holdings. Who doesn't like a carefully thought out holding first thing in the morning. People with UK pensions and holdings are suffering from the exchange rate, and which, what does that say? Born drops in income. Well, we get the gist of that, Dougie. That, of course, if you're being paid in pounds, that's not the best currency to be paid in at the moment, especially when you're trying to convert to euros to enjoy those pounds over here. Okay, thank you for pointing that out, Douglas. And we will get the finger on the pulse, the doc's finger on the pulse, when he joins us at just around 9 o'clock this morning. I think we might have a quick look at the headlines here in Portugal to I don't know, it's a little bit way of catching up midweek. Seems like quite a good thing to do. Give us your weather reports as well from your various parts of Portugal, if you will. And Mondays, yes, Optimal Trader. Mondays are the best day for getting your visa and immigration questions answered by our professional expert, Gilles de Pereira from EI. Nicely done, James. Francis is in between load sheds. Bon dia, alegria a todos. Good morning to you, Francis. Great to have you here. And Nom de Plume, talking of EI. Nom de Plume, Sarah has a meeting with EI in 9 hours. Got to sleep first. Okay, sleep well, sweet dreams. Keep your voices down, everybody here. Absolute mind to the self-love. Also, T-Duck's Deep Thought, exactly what we said on Monday. Please share it with Gilda. Okay, I will. Just to reiterate that then. Don't take anything personally. Nothing other people do is because of you. It is because of themselves. Easier said than done, but yes, certainly a very excellent sentiment to be throwing around at this time on a Wednesday morning. Great success to you, Nom de Plume, Sarah, with your meeting with EI. That's from James. That's from all of us, of course. I very often say that when someone is telling you about you, they are actually revealing themselves to you. If you listen, you will learn a lot about them. We do give ourselves away, don't we, when we speak? Yes, I should know that. Someone does a fair bit of speaking first thing in and most mornings of the week. But yes, isn't it interesting that when people speak and they think they're talking about you, they're so often talking about themselves. Now we can turn that round, can we not? When we think we're judging and assessing, and yeah, I'm not judging. I'm merely stating a few facts here. We're talking about ourselves, aren't we? Because we are the very lens through which we see the world, and everything we utter is tinged or focused or unfocused with that same lens of our personality and who we've come to be in this world. Isn't it fascinating? Where else are you going to get insight like this first thing in the morning? I got yesterday's okay, but struggling with today's. Now, make of that what you will. I think he's talking about Wordle. I do need some help on this. There's a Wordle outbreak. Suddenly everybody's talking about that in the chat this morning. So very interesting. Got yesterday's okay, but struggling with today's. I think I might have to take a look at this. Late to the party, just like I was with Peaky Blinders and Game of Thrones. Wordle seems to be something that I'm late to the party with as well. So someone might need to help me out with this. But Porky Feet did okay yesterday, but struggling with today's. Maybe we can help each. Is it wrong to do that as a group? Would we be in breach of some sort of protocol with Wordle if we try and do that together? When I listen, I have the advantage. When I speak, the others have it. An Arabic saying there. Thank you, Jean. That's hit a note this morning, isn't it? Taking things personally or not, and listening and talking and getting the balance right. The themes of the morning, as well as Wordle. I did a tournament today and climbed up places. The words got harder. I think that's how it's meant to work, isn't it? With a tournament and a competition. Q, for example. Okay, still not much better off with understanding Wordle. It's also an opportunity for deeper understanding and compassion. Is that when you listen? Thank you, James, for that, and Jean as well. Good work this morning, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm in the Forex market, foreign exchange market, as Optimal Trader. Ooh, so we talk a lot, Optimal Trader, about obviously the dollar, the euro, the pound, sometimes the loonie, sometimes the Aussie dollar, sometimes South African currency as well. What are your, when we're not allowed to give advice, are we? Because things can go horribly wrong when you give advice and people take it and then want to blame you for taking their own, for not being responsible for their own actions. But what might we look at, Optimal Trader, this morning? What other currencies are there in the world that are interesting at the moment, just as a point of interest? Could you please let us know, Optimal Trader? Good to make your acquaintance this morning. Muito prazer. Wordle is a word game. I got that, Connie. Thank you very much. Where you guess a 5-letter word. The green box means you have the correct letter in the correct place and the yellow box means in the incorrect place. So I can bring that up on the screen, can I now, and look at Wordle then? So it's is it wordle.com? And it's the same thing, and it's in the is it in the New York Times? Is that how it works? Please let me know. Wordleplay.com, wordle-play.com. Are these all doing it? What's the best source for me to have a look at? So for anyone else in my condition, who doesn't know about it, maybe we can give them an introduction to that. So it's a bit like Mastermind meets a crossword puzzle, is it? The green box means you have the correct letter in the correct place, and the yellow box means in the incorrect place. So like the black and white pins on Mastermind. Okay, I'm beginning to get a picture of what Wordle might be. It was one of the business philosophies of the firm I used to work for. Listen first. What a lovely quiet environment that must have been. No, you go first. No. You no. You go first. Nothing. Well, that's when people remembered it, which presumably we don't always remember to listen first, do we? And there's the other thing, isn't there? When we're listening, are we really listening, or are we planning what we're about to come back with? Guilty as charged a lot of the time. Nothing major, just a couple of herniated discs. That sounds horrific. From Zumba in 2019. See, Zumba's dangerous, clearly, isn't it? Be careful. If it hurts, stop. I think Andy might have overexerted himself there, and you might have been better off going to the Boom Boom Brazil class than the Zumba class. I think that. Why? Can you imagine the scene there when he's at Zumba class and he herniates a couple of discs back in 2019? That must have been horrific. Did they have to call a paramedic for you, or were you escorted off the field of Zumba play there with severe back pain, Andy? That sounds terrible. And you're getting a bit of help with your herniated disc. Matty, can you help with this? Is Matty tuning in this morning? Okay, which reminds me, this Saturday night at 2100 hours, online international meetup with Connie. Oh, okay, register at Expats Portugal. There's an online. Why didn't I get the memo about this? Okay, this Saturday night then at 2100 hours. Give me more details, folks, and we can let everybody know here. 2100 hours then, Saturday evening, an international meetup. Register at Expats Portugal. How about a link, folks? That would be useful, wouldn't it? Or, as the great Yogi Berra put it, get Yogi Berra, you can observe a lot by just watching. Smarter than the average bear comment there. Are we talking about Yogi Berra, or are we talking about an Eastern mystic there? Sometimes one and the same, it would seem. You can observe a lot just by watching. Very good, Gene. Thank you for that. And Connie, morning, James. Thanks for the shout about. Yeah, Connie, please, can we have some more details on that? What do people need to do? What's it all about? Please. That memo went over my head, or ended up somewhere else, got lost in the post. So, or the pigeon didn't arrive with that. So, give us a bit more detail. Gladly able to shout out about it here this morning. Or you are, Connie, if you want to call in and tell us about it, please do. You know what the number is: 00351 The wise man is silent. Okay, I'm going to prove that to you now. Makes for terrible radio. The wise man is a terrible radio broadcaster. There you go. Finishing off that well-known phrase there. Wordle used to be way back in the day. Okay, so this is an old thing, but it's achieved obviously a big popularity just recently. An app that would highlight by size and color an artful visual of the most used words in a document. Oh, I see. And then it got transformed into a pastime. A bit of a game and a hobby for people. But it seems to have replaced Sudoku, doesn't it? In many ways, for keeping mental sharpness and acuity. Good morning, everyone, from Lisa M. Hey, Lisa, how are you this morning? Great to see you. The money is in the euro, US, and US dollar, Japanese yen. No, is that right? At the moment, if you are a scalper, what? A scalper. Okay, so those are the pairings to watch out for. Your US dollar Japanese yen pairing and your euro/US dollar pairing. Scary stuff, optimal trader. In some ways, I'm sorry I asked. I don't want to be accused of being a scalper this morning, but that's clearly where the action is in foreign exchange this morning. Good morning from Barbara Machado. Good morning, Barbara. How are you? Good morning, everybody. And Carl, did you see that? The lights just flickered. We nearly had an outage, which could be devastating for us here. We have no generator or solar or anything like that. We are on the grid, and we were nearly off the grid for a moment. A taste of South African life there briefly. Wow. Good morning. Oh, this is great. Barbara Machado saying, I'm new here, but this podcast helps me in a lot of ways on my way to Portugal. Fantastic, Barbara. We are delighted to be of assistance. Thank you for not lurking. Other lurkers, please break ranks now. You know you wanna, just as Barbara has done this morning. How may we help? Are you tuned in this morning on Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday because you want a bit of help from the doc, who will join me soon? Thank you for being here, Barbara. My pleasure. Yogi Berra was an off-quoted baseball player, right? From way back the 30s or 40s. And so not Yogi Bear, not Yogi Berra, the Eastern mystic, but Yogi Berra, the baseball player, by the sound of it. Yogi was a philosopher. He was also a pretty good catcher for the New York Yankees. The stuff you learn here. Working with Gilda and all her girls in EI. Should you have a look at those lovely girls at EI? Here they are. Here's the team you're talking about, Barbara. Working with Gilda and all her girls at EI. Thank you for all the information you guys share here and the help. All we are in this process. Yes, absolutely. What a process it is. So many moving parts, so many things to think about. I did think, was I walking the dogs last night? And I thought, do you know what we need? We need a poster, all the things poster, all the considerations. As I ponder more and more the emotional, psychological, and mental aspects of and spiritual aspects of migration. That's just a part of it, of course. And there's all the wonderful functional things that you have to take care of as well. Many moving parts. Would a poster be too overwhelming with all the things on it that you need to bear in mind when moving to Portugal and up? I mean, a lot of it would be universal, wouldn't it, for people moving country and moving to a new one? And actually quite a lot of it, I think, when it comes to the emotional, spiritual, psychological stuff, overlaps with retirement as well, because retirement is like a foreign country, isn't it, for people as well, making that adjustment. And then when you do both together, that should not be underestimated, dear friends. Okay, there is that time in the show when the doc is with us that we have to remind him that he's going to be with us. So let me just send him a message and ask him if he's okay this morning. He has got the link. Maybe he's just trying to find a lay-by. Maybe he found a lay-by and got moved on by Her Majesty's police officers. No, sir, sorry, you can't do a live stream in this lay-by. That is now against one of our many laws, an increasing number of laws here in the United Kingdom. But I'm going to send him a simple "you okay" message to the doc this morning, and he might still be snoozing against the Peaky Blinders landscape of UK. Let's find out. I'll send him that message. And we've only got one tick so far. That's not good, is it? When on WhatsApp, I've often wondered about this. One tick means you've sent it, doesn't it? 2 ticks means it's been received. Now, that's not to say it's definitely been read when you've only got the 1 tick. So, but it's I'm a little concerned because I'm definitely only getting 1 tick from the doc so far. Okay. It's a time to be social. Okay, this is fantastic. We've got the picture. We've got the official picture here. This is lovely. Thank you very much for these. Must download this and get this on the screen now and tell you all about it, as well as show you some pics from Colorado. Have you been to Colorado, folks? Well, if not, you're about to go there in kind of this morning, thanks to a couple of pictures from John Heimbeck this morning. Great to talk with you yesterday, John, as well. John, looking forward to hanging out with you in Portugal soon. Now, here's the meetup. John might like to tune into this. John, a special message for you. Tune into this and others, of course. Everyone welcome. Join online from anywhere in the world. So that would be Colorado. It could be anywhere, couldn't it? If you've got an internet connection, you can tune in on Saturday, the 1st of October, which is, of course, is coming Saturday, 9 p.m. Lisbon time, 1 p.m. on the PDT and 4 p.m. on the EDT with your wonderful hosts, Hank and Connie. Social Saturday online meetup with Hank and Connie Stalika. That's fabulous. Thank you very much for that. It's a time to be social, both for those in Portugal and those still in their home country. Hank and Connie there. A time to make connections and potential friendships before people arrive in Portugal, or for those here to get to know others here. Great idea. Thank you so much for sharing that, Connie. That's wonderful. We've also got a photo in from, celebrating Guinness Day in South Africa. Who would have thought it, that it would work like that? So thank you very much, Connie, for sending that to me this morning. And Lisa M was in Colorado. Hey, all roads lead to Colorado. So we better go there now and have a look at Colorado. Look at this for wide open spaces. Have the Dixie Chicks renamed themselves again? They do bend and sway, don't they, to political pressure. Anyway, I know their tune Wide Open Spaces, and what better place on the planet to exemplify that, the sense of wide open space, than Colorado. Look at that. That's beautiful. Thank you, John, for these couple of pics. Out for a walk, he says, and managed to take a couple of snaps. What did you actually say with these pictures here, John? Here's a few pics from a little drive we took yesterday around the countryside here. Little old countryside of Colorado. We look forward to doing the same when we explore Portugal. And I think Peneda Gerês, the north, is really where you're going to get some scenery like that. Possibly Alentejo as well. You do get a sense of that in some parts of the Alentejo, don't you? Up there in the Monchique Hills. Any other suggestions for wide open spaces in Portugal? Gratefully received. That's going to take some beating, isn't it? That skyline there in Colorado. Look at those blues. Fantastic. You can imagine just living in a little shack up there, eating beans around the campfire. Oh, fantastic. Great stuff. Cheers, John, for that. And Lisa M, you were in Colorado last week. Amazing. Spooky. Have we got... There you go. And when the ticks turn blue, it means you should get your Lyme's disease checked out. No, I think this is something else. When the ticks turn blue, it means the text has been opened in WhatsApp. What do you mean? They change color as well. Still no news from the doc. I've only got... Oh, I see. So there are 3 stages. There's the send with 1 tick. There's the receive 2 ticks. And there's the opening, the blue tick. I'd never noticed that. Oh! I feel a bit of a ninny now saying that, but thank you. It wasn't even a silly question, was it? It was just, when you listen to people, as we were saying earlier on, they expose themselves, don't they? Just as I did there. Drew in Australia, how are you doing? Hola, bon dia todos de Australia. How are you, mate? Good to have you here. And what's this? Oh, great. Okay, Connie, I will. In fact, why don't we do that sooner rather than later? I know sometimes people want to do. Oh no, I can't be on the camera right now. I've just got to do my hair and stuff like that. I go through that every morning. Connie, you might want a little bit longer, but you're welcome to join in at any time. Doc's MIA currently, so if you want to come and have a chat about the online meetup on Saturday, please do so. I have sent the link to you via WhatsApp. Yogi Berra became known for saying things like, always go to other people's funerals, otherwise they won't come to yours. Yogi, okay, I think we needed a Yogi Berra week. Can we have a few more of these? Fantastic stuff. Didn't know about Yogi Berra. We do now, though. And Yogi Berra, is who the animated bear was named after. Oh, my goodness. I've opened my trap a lot of times and exposed my ignorance this morning. That's at least the 2nd time today. Off to bed then. Sweet dreams. Bon night to you. Night, all off to bed. Have a fun day. And good luck with your appointment with EI. Nom de plume, Sarah and Suze. I went to bed after 8 p.m. Woke up at 12:28. Walked taxi and tried listening and reading chat. I opened Tangerine bank accounts earlier today. Oh, it sounds like it's got a little bit hallucinogenic here with Tangerine bank accounts. Savings accountant 4.25% promotion. I think you're drifting a bit there, Suze. You might be a bit of sleep deprivation kicking in, but I think we get the general gist. You need to go to bed. Not like nom de plume, Sarah. What are the highest peaks in Portugal? Can somebody answer that for me? I'm a bit busy at the moment, but that's a great question on Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday. Perfectly good question. We're going to need a little bit of help, I think, with that. I was in the mountains approximately 10,000 feet hiking and later at Oktoberfest in Denver. So we need to know what the highest peaks are. I don't think you need to worry about high altitude sickness anywhere here in Portugal, but I believe the Serra da Estrela is the peak here in Portugal. I don't know how many feet above sea level it is. Somebody else might be able to help with that. Slug has decided to also start a Yogi Berra quote of the day. Nice work. Thank you very much for that, James. You came to the call there. Perfect. Oh, bit more sleep deprived finance talk this morning from Sue. Savings account of 4.25. Well, look at that. Savings of Savings are all the rage again. And checking offering 20% cashback for 20% cashback. That is considerable, isn't it? Just goes to show how it's all made up, doesn't it? And you can do anything at any time when you're tweaking with money and economics. But 20% cashback for 5 months, that's not on all purchases, is it? That's outrageous. Towards my D7 then, so a big savings plan has started for Suze's D7 efforts. And a Yogi Berra quote of the day. Look at that. You only have to ask. And maybe we'll get a question to the highest peak in Portugal, but we certainly got an answer to starting a Yogi Berra quote of the day. If you don't know where you're going, you'll end up someplace else. How did he talk? I want to know so that I can try a very spurious and odd American accent against Yogi Berra. Mate, there aren't going to be any. Would there be a little bit of film of Yogi Berra? Ancient film? Certainly no TikToks, I wonder. Okay, if you include the Azores, Mount Pico is 7,713 feet above. That's 2,351 meters. The highest peak in mainland is Torre in the Serra da Estrela range with just under 2,000 meters and 6,500 feet above sea level. So there you go. Thank you very much for that. Drew straight onto that. And he was a New Jersey native. So he would have said something like, if you don't know where you are going, you'll end up someplace else. Connie can assess my New Jersey accent in just a moment. On it, Carl. Yogi Berra voice. Nice. And I've sent a WhatsApp pic of the mountains. Okay, as we await Connie. You heard her arrival then, but we're not seeing any visuals just yet. We have some wide open space from the Bairrada. Oh, okay. Yes, this does rival Colorado for sure. And it might also encourage others to send in pictures of wide open and high places here in Portugal. A couple of lovely pics in from Andy then. Let's put those as we await the arrival of the doc. Hope he's okay. As we await his arrival on Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday, when of course you can ask about health matters as well because he's an ex-GP from the United Kingdom. Have you ever asked him about your herniated discs, Andy? If he ever turns up, you might be able to do that this morning. Okay, so what's this? This is the Bairrada wide. Oh, look, okay. That's a nice comparison we've got there. I think Bairrada there, snapped by Andy at the weekend from the wonderful Passaco forest, one of Portugal's fabulous and ancient native woodlands. Superb, brilliant pick that. Thank you very much. And we're comparing and contrasting with Colorado there. Pretty good, pretty good. And what's this other picture you've sent in? Oh, are these all the mountains? That's fantastic. That's got to go somewhere where people can see it and download it. The Estrela towering over everything else at 1,900 meters. And then all the others, even the Jerez is dwarfed by the Estrela there. And in the foreground, the lower peaks of Passaco, the picture you just saw previously, and Sintra as well. That's fantastic. What a lovely illustration that is. I just want to draw eyes on all of those, though. So you have something of an Anthony Gormley installation there. If I get my Sharpie, I could just put a pair of eyes on each of those little peaks there, and we'll have an entirely different picture. But superb and a beautiful picture. Look at that sky. Look at that blue there. Fantastic. Wide open in the Bairrada Busaco just last weekend. Fabulous stuff. Let's just add Connie to the stream. We've got a blackened screen. She might not want to be visual. She might just have audio for us. Are you there, Connie? Not yet. Okay, we'll come. Oh, my video is not working. Well, actually, you could just talk to us and we'll put the poster up. Connie, are you there? Good morning to you.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Can hear you loud and clear. And we can actually see your picture on the flyer that you sent me. Join online and in line from anywhere in the world. Saturday, 1st of October. What's going on? What can people expect on Saturday, Connie? Thanks for calling in to talk about it. Hello. Is this already like being on a Skype call? Can you hear me? Am I unmuted?
Yes, but there's kind of a delay, so I'm not sure when I'm supposed to talk or when I'm talking over you. So I just was waiting.
Okay. I tell you what. Okay, we'll manage this like we've learned to do over the last 2 or 3 years on Skype. Okay, you go ahead.
Okay, so Saturday is just all about being social. Being social wherever you are, your home country or here in Portugal.
Beautiful. Sounds great to me. And will it be Skype based? If people go to Expats Portugal's forum and search for the social, they'll get the link for doing that, will they? So they can join you at 9:00 on this coming Saturday evening?
I believe so, but it's also an ad right on the page when you go into Expats Portugal. You can see the ad
Excellent
pop
stuff.
up, and then there's a link to RSVP.
Fantastic. Great stuff. I'm sorry, I'm aware that I'm shouting, Connie. Is Hank still asleep?
I've got my ears on. He can't hear.
Okay. Fantastic. So whilst we've got you here, how's it going in Porto, in Gaia? Enjoying yourselves up there, I hope?
Yeah, it's going amazing. Everything we hope for and more.
Oh,
we're really enjoying it.
Okay. And is there a highlight or two you can tell us about? What I love to hear about are those things that you weren't expecting, like little plot twists and little special places that you found that you weren't bargaining for. Anything like that you can share with us?
For me, it's green spaces, finding parks, finding trees, finding rivers, and you can stumble upon them almost anywhere, but you kind of have to go out of the city because, we're in Gaia. Yeah. So it's more city than that kind of stuff. But also just stumbling into a very Portuguese restaurant. One of Hank's favorites is this place full of older gentlemen with their big meal and their their bottle of wine. And they just kind of all look at us and then they kind of smile or go back to what they're doing. And then no English, and you just get really good food and a really great atmosphere. And typically we find somebody who can broken English talk to us. So it's just a really great Portuguese experience. We've had fun with those.
I'm thinking to myself, if you're ever wondering where Hank is, that's where that's where you're going to find him, right? He'll have got himself a glass or a bottle of wine, and he'll be talking with the old fellas at the Tashka there. Yes,
exactly.
Brilliant. And have you been to the Crystal Palace that you've got?
No, it's on our list. It's a little farther. I mean, nothing's far, but it's a little farther away than Gaia. So great pictures I've seen.
Yeah, Chris Smith sent us a lovely video of a collage montage of all his lovely pictures at the Crystal Palace. So that's certainly a highlight for you to look forward to. Connie, thank you so much for calling in. Sorry to have put you on the spot like that, but you've done amazingly well. And great to hear about this event that's happening this Saturday, the 1st of October. Just come as you are. It's all about being sociable. Wherever you are in the world, you don't have to be in Portugal. You can be anywhere. Call in from where you are.
Shout out, Carl.
Okay, my pleasure. And we'll see you soon. Love to Hank.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Bye.
Bye for now. Bye. There she goes, and there it is. There it is. The flyer for the event that's coming up this Saturday evening. Now the doc is still not. Should we ring him up and see? Let's press the call button and see if he's okay. He might still be asleep, and we might have to give him a few minutes to put some cold water on his face. But no, nothing. I'm really worried about the UK now. It's most unlike the doc not to show up like this. Well, we'll try him again later and see if we can get the doc in on Ask Anything About Portugal and Health Wednesday, his monthly residency here. In the meantime, we'll take a look at the papers and thank you for your Guinness. Oh, okay, we've got Wordle and we've got Guinness. Oh, I see. Okay, this is fantastic. Thank you very much for this celebration of Guinness Day. International Guinness Day, then. It was, I think, was it 1759 when Guinness was first created or unleashed on an... Can you imagine, for a moment, can you just imagine what you would think if you'd never seen Guinness before and a black liquid was put in a glass in front of you through which, well, on top, there is a cream through which you drink the black liquid beneath. I mean, I know this drink. I like this drink. I've actually drunk it in Ireland, and it's creamy and rich. But for the first time, it must have been a little bit odd, don't you think, to be served that when beer would have been transparent, probably not fizzy at that stage, but certainly the color of beer, amber, rather than a black liquid here. And I suspect as well that Guinness might have been one of those happy accidents, something where they opened up the fermentation tank, found a thick black liquid and thought, oh no, that hasn't worked out, chuck it away. And then somebody said, no, hold on a minute, we got to try this. We got to try this bad boy and see what it's like. So maybe that's how Guinness got invented. And we've got another wide open space picture. Thank you for these this morning. As autumn comes in, It's a good time of year to be in the outdoors, isn't it? The intensity of the blazing sun. I've got so many blue sky pictures. I'm struggling to see which is which. Okay, this is the one from Francis. I've got a little suite of pictures from Francis, and this one, my wife took on her German visit last week. I think this may have been Austria, though. Okay, so it's Germany or Austria. Look at that for a wide open space this morning. If you need perspective this morning, we're giving it to you. Is that a Schloss or some sort of palace on the hill there in the foreground? That's amazing, isn't it? So a bit of comparison for you then. Austria or Germany with a lake and a Schloss. The Bayrada region, the Pasaco Forest, and Colorado this morning. How lovely. If you want to send one of those in, you know what to do. 913-590-303. Guinness then, celebratory Guinness picture. Look at that. It's even got the Guinness, some special kind of Guinness stencil on the top. How do they do that? You can't do that with the tap. That's got to be a stencil and maybe a spray on there, right? And Wordle. Okay, so Guinness Island's word of the day, magic night, times, and magic times and pints. Those all important 5-letter words there. We're going all Guinness in Wordle this morning. Well then, happy World Guinness Day, says Francis. I have made up for whoever doesn't drink it. It's Marmite in a glass, I suppose, isn't it? Thank you very much for your pictures this morning. And the introduction to Wordle, everybody. Thank you very much for that. And we have a correction, everybody. Alan, who occasionally joined us because I think he lives in America, Spain, and Portugal. By the way, just to be correct, Abe Lincoln opined you can fool some of the people all of the time, all of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people all of the time. And James the Slug has put his hands up to it. Oh, yes, oft misquoted, as I inadvertently did. But even then, the paraphrase using please still aptly applies. Nice. Yeah, so you can substitute please in there. You can please some of the people all the time, all of the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all of the time. There you go. Thank you very much, Alan, for that correction as well. Actually reiterating the point there that James was making on Monday. Let's have a look at those papers. I wonder, will the doc ever join us? We've still only got one tick, folks, so we shall see. Is there a doctor in the house? It's like an airplane, and we need a doctor to step up and step into the show this morning. If you'd like to do that, I'll send you the link. Just drop me a WhatsApp message if you're a doctor and you can stand in for the doc this morning. Okay, so Dr. Durham is here. Thank you very much, Dr. Durham. Any questions let's test him, shall we? With our tongue in our cheek, which is not a medical condition, because that would be painful if that was permanent. But I think David is probably not a real doctor, but is happy to give medical advice anyway this morning. Interesting. And other offers are used. I mean, you know, let's face it, the doc is irreplaceable. But if we can in any way, if anyone wants to step forward to talk about Portugal, Antonio F, for example, and I've got a video, a collage I've made actually of no trains, but we've got planes and automobiles this morning. Lovely collage from images sent to me by Antonio and Joao F. I don't think Joao is with us this morning. He might be. We've got a lovely video to share with you of the joint work of the two F gentlemen. Talking about mountains today. Well, as it turns out, we are, Antonio. We were looking at the wide open spaces of Colorado, which then led us to Pasaco, which then led us to Austria or Germany this morning. Okay. Lots of comments to come back to. Tangerine Bank is a real thing. Of course, it's from Holland, if it's tangerine, and a great place. They're the orange people, aren't they, the Dutch? And a great place for saving and investing. Okay, thank you very much for that. And we'll come back to those comments and pieces of medical advice. Thank you, David Durham. Oh, Dr. Hook, Dr. Feelgood, other doctors are available as well. Morning, Chris. How are you? Okay, dad joke warning time. Okay, we'll come back to that as well. Fantastic stuff. And that time, that works perfectly for Suze as well. Thank you, Connie, for jumping on and telling us about the event on 9 o'clock, at 9 o'clock on Saturday night. That time will work for me, Connie. So there we go. People getting ready for that. All right, let me play you this video then. How many of these vehicles do you recognize is question one? And I suppose question 1B, the second part of that is how many of these do you recognize, and how many have you owned yourself? We have a distinguished gentleman's day out in Portugal, which went from Lisbon to Cascais, and then a little glimpse of the Sintra Airbase show that happened last weekend as well. So sit back and enjoy this. If you like classic cars, you're going to love this. Dougie, you still with us? Thank you so much, Joao F, for your coverage of the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride last Sunday, I think. I want to say Sunday, but certainly last weekend in Lisbon, and riding out to Cascais ahead of the Movember fundraising that the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride always provides every year, different aspect of male health, men's health, and of course, those couple of images and video from the Sintra Airbase day on 24th of September. Thank you so much, Joao F and Antonio F, for that footage put together as a video there. How many of those cars did you recognize, and how many did you own? I think Porky Feet Andy might have had one or two of those. An MGC 3-litre, you see? Nice. He recognizes that a particular vehicle, along with the E-types there, and that beautiful Mercedes at the end. There were some beautiful cars there. Those cars are so fun to see, just beautiful. Some they are, aren't they? They are from a golden age of car production for sure. You seem to have a car in your YouTube image as well there, Connie. Are you an automobile fan? Why would you have a car in your YouTube? You don't have to answer this. I'm just curious. And after 2 years of watching the replays, I'm finally here in Lisbon. Check it out. Halisi is our Black Utopia. Good morning to you. I'm finally here in Lisbon and watching live. Yay! Enjoy it. Lap that applause up, Halisi. Is that what I should call you, Halisi? I'm not sure, but Halisi is our Black Utopia. Welcome. Thank you for being here. I don't have Guinness this morning. It is World Guinness Day. I have some kefir. This is water kefir, not dairy kefir. I'm going to review this live on air now. Thank you, Mrs. M, for that. I think she's put either figs or raisins in to get that fermentation going. Maybe that's how Guinness started. That's delicious. That's got some real alive kick in it. Oh, I say, stay tuned to find out what the effects of drinking water kefir are first thing in the morning. Oh, very nice. Okay, and you're getting some nice welcoming vibes here from everybody. Benvindo, Halisi, if I may call you that, Antonio. A bon dia to you as well from Antonio. And welcome from Connie. And you've pronounced it right, Halisi. Fantastic. Obrigado. And welcome from Suze as well. Fantastic. Okay, let's have a look at the headlines then. I've got a feeling Doc is not going to be joining us this morning. We still haven't had the 2-tick, or let alone a blue tick on WhatsApp. So we shall see. I do enjoy looking at old cars, says Connie. My car pick is from when I got my new to me car. Oh, and Lisa M welcoming you, Alicia, as well. How's it going in Lisbon? Are you enjoying life after watching replays? What's it like to be live on the show and tuning in with us? You're very welcome here among the riot of gumpers. Okay, let's have a look at what should we go with? Portugal resident or Portugal news, I wonder. You can choose. Let me know in the chat. Do you want Portugal news or Portugal resident? Will is here. Well, the other Thompson is here who can give medical advice, but we'll need a time machine for that. None of those cars I've just shown you can drive that faster, Will. And I've also found out that there's a superb bar, according to TripAdvisor anyway. And I do hope they haven't posted this themselves. It sometimes happens, doesn't it, on TripAdvisor? Or is there an algorithm to stop that sort of thing? Algorithms, eh? What are you like? Russell Brand's had one of his YouTube videos taken down. Very interesting things happening in the world of indie media, new media, right? Superb bar serving Portugal's best Guinness. That's Al's Bar. And that is in Vila Moura, as you might expect. Superb serving Portugal's best Guinness. I'd been recommended Al's, says James from Australia, by a friend. And the Australians do know a thing or two about drinking, don't they? Let's be honest about that. I'd been recommended Al's Bar by a friend who'd raved about it, and he was right too. It's a great place. This is Al's Bar, Rua do Club Náutico in Vila Moura, Carteira, and it's a great place owned and run by the man himself, Al. And I imagine from once or twice he said, "You can call me Al," at Al's Bar there. Delightful and excellent Olesia. Oh, Olesia from Siberia helps Al out in the bar. The atmosphere is terrific. The Guinness is sublime, just as it should be. That is a great word to describe Guinness if you like it. Creamy and sublime. And after a few pints, you can nip next door to any one of the handful of fine eateries. Unintrusive TVs also show live sport, so everyone is catered for. A truly great spot. That's Al's Bar, allegedly, according to that particular Australian, serving Portugal's best Guinness. Do you have a rival for that on this Guinness Day, International Guinness Day, here on the Expats Portugal show? Any medical inquiries for David Durham or Will Thompson this morning? I can give medical advice too, but you need a time machine to hear it. Come on, don't be bitter, Will. The only time you can help anyone, it's the same as planting a tree, isn't it? The only time you can do that is now. And medicine's always been like that, hasn't it? I mean, we know better now than we used to. That's in some ways is a definition of progress, is it not? Al's Bar then, noted. And smash that like button. Get rowdy, as if you've had 4 pints of Guinness. 2 in my case. Everything is a bit surreal, Halisi says. Tomorrow marks a week in our new home, overwhelmed and overjoyed. That is such a good description, Halisi. I do recognize that. I've been writing about our first 5 years here in Portugal. Overwhelmment and overjoyment, if that is indeed a word, are the twin-headed emotions, aren't they? That come together. And it's really important. I remember last week. I remember 5 years ago, and I remember last week. Last week, I was saying to some new arrivals, just take your time. Just enjoy it. Just adjust. Stop, don't need to rush around. You're going to be spending possibly the rest of your life here. So take it easy. That's not what I was doing in my first few weeks here. I was reminding myself, because I'm writing about it, what I was doing. And we had a hellish schedule that we imposed on ourselves. So totally get that. Overwhelmed and overjoyed. So do take care of yourselves. And do take it easy if you possibly can. But it is also great fun, especially if you're living in Lisbon and enjoying life there. So, yeah, get that balance right if you can. You know where we are if you need us. Did anyone answer? No one cares, do they? Oh, the resident. Okay, we're going to the Portugal resident for a look now. That's obviously Chris's favourite. And we'll take a look at their headlines in this last half hour of the show. Fingers crossed that the doctor will see us soon, or that we'll see him soon. But I've got a feeling he's not going to be here this morning with us. Something must have happened over there in the UK. Well, you can bet your life on it that things are happening in the UK. So much turbulence and difficulty right now in the economy, and of course in the wake of the Queen dying. the Labour Party conference, the terrible performance of the new incumbents in Downing Street, and the cost of living crisis going into it. It's all happening in the UK as though it was some sort of socio-economic petri dish that the rest of the world might be looking at. Anyway, is that a bit dramatic? But I don't know. It's probably not too dramatic, is it, to say that about the United Kingdom at the moment? From where I came, energy saving plan for Portugal comes into force. Oh, do we want to read that? I wonder. Okay, we've got Robbie Williams to perform in Lisbon. He's had a few pints of Guinness in his time, hasn't he? Maybe not so much these days. His hell-raising days are over. He's an interesting fella. He's looked at life from both sides now, and he's very reflective and thoughtful when you see more recent interviews with Robbie Williams. Anna Breeze spoke to him. She's an interesting new media person as well. Portugal to recruit 400 Moroccan workers for agriculture. Very selfishly, I'm thinking, when people come to the country, they like to eat the food that they are familiar with. So that sorry to be so selfish about my immediate response to that, but transparency and honesty, that's immediately what I thought. 400 Moroccan workers coming to Portugal to work in agriculture. They're going to want to eat as well, and they're probably going to want to eat Moroccan food from time to time. That could be a very good thing for Portugal. PJ Police carry out searches at Inham offices, their emergency service colleagues there, Inham being the paramedics. I think I'm correct in saying that. And over 900 specialists in the Algarve for the EASA conference. Guesses, please, on what EAZA, I said it like that for you Americans, EAZA conference. What's that about? What does the EAZA stand for? And Portugal ahead in switch to renewables. Consensus on sustainability, says the president. And you Brits, us Brits, to receive post-Brexit residency cards by the end of the year. Whatever. Okay. And Pulitzer-winning photographer exhibits work in Lulé. Okay. Interesting. Commando suspected of culture of using steroids. My goodness. If only Seth would do that. No, only joking. Maybe. Shager celebrates far-right victory in Italian elections as well. Another headline there. And tourism workers reaching end of their rope. That sounds really ominous. That is one I'm tempted to look at. But we must look at this energy saving plan for Portugal, which is coming into force. Countries all across Europe, of course, are looking at limiting energy consumption with the great cost at which it comes. Portugal resident then is taking the credit for this, for the writing this article. It's not a Natasha Don article. It is one that is penned by someone who doesn't want to put their name to it, presumably. Or maybe it's just a cut and paste from a press release. Let's find out. Christmas lights turned off earlier and teleworking recommended to save energy. Well, better to not work at all if you want to save energy, in my view, but that's just my little bit of input there. The government will limit decorative lighting at Christmas to the period between 6 p.m. and midnight. Control indoor air conditioning temperatures. Well, hopefully they won't have to worry too much about air conditioning at Christmas, and recommend teleworking to save energy. Flipping heck, there's a pattern here, isn't there? According to the Energy Saving Plan 22-23, published today, Tuesday, that was yesterday, in a cabinet resolution, the government will implement several saving measures over the coming months, which in the case of the central administration will be mandatory. The interior lighting of buildings will be turned off from 10 p.m. in the winter period and from 11 p.m. in the summer period, and outside from midnight regarding safeguarding safety issues. Well, that's not such a bad idea, is it? That's not going to be too depressing. You see, we made a big deal, didn't we, of lighting up Christmas. Was it last year or the year before? Maybe both. It's really important, I think, that some things aren't affected by measures. I'll just call them measures, because human morale is really important, isn't it? And I think as well as cutting things, you've got to boost other things. Otherwise, it's just like, it just feels like depression by 1,000 cuts and limitations, doesn't it? So let's remain open-minded, at least for another couple of paragraphs. The interior lighting of buildings will be turned off after. Oh, we've done that bit. In addition, it established that the periods of Christmas lighting will be limited from 6 p.m. to midnight from December the 6th to January the 6th to 12th night. Well, glad to see some traditions are being upheld. January the 6th, 12th night seems to be a key date, doesn't it? In the Christmas Christian calendar. Interior lighting will also have to be switched off whenever the space is not in use. Well, that's not a bad idea, is it? all of the all the light monitoring dads of the world will be happily going around scoffing and tutting when there's a light on and nobody's in the room. And after working hours, promoting, so that lights off after working hours. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Promoting greater use of natural light and other measures. What are these other measures, I wonder? According to the plan, temperatures of air conditioning equipment will be regulated to a maximum of 18 in winter, as a maximum, and a minimum of 25 in summer. Okay, so you will be allowed to cook up to 25, but you'll not be allowed to go below 18. Yes. Regarding water, the executive intends the reduction of running water time and adaptation of the water temperature of the heating system to the season of the year, as well as the reduction of the amount of water used in washing floors. Oh my God. Reducing the number of vehicle washes and other strategies. In addition, irrigation will be programmed for times of lower evaporation. This is all good stuff that you could argue we should be doing anyway. And typically for human beings, it takes a crisis, doesn't it, to have us come into action on things. So I think a fairly well-balanced transformation of energy use here. I am just, I'm being careful here because I don't want us to experience another year two or interminable limitations on lifestyle. I mean, I'm talking about getting the balance right. I'm not talking about unbridled use of energy just so that we can feel magnificent human beings triumphing over nature. No, I'm talking about how, that feeling with the seemingly endless lockdown and measures being imposed upon us from high and not always making a lot of sense. Whilst you can appreciate there's a general sense of something or other for our overall good, on a personal level, it does get to you after a while, doesn't it? Come on, it gets to you after a while. The government also highlighted the adoption of human resource management practices that allow for the reduction of energy consumption. For example, evaluating energy savings from teleworking whenever feasible, as well as is teleworking the right thing? I guess it would save energy in the building where everybody would come together, but you still got to heat yourself if you're teleworking from home, which might not be the greatest use of energy and efficiency. Wherever feasible, as well as information actions in the scope of savings associated with energy consumptions, as well as commuting. I don't even know what that means, but we get the gist here, don't we? And there's a lot of detail in here. There are also several similar measures for private individuals, but the state also recommends reducing the running water time of baths and showers and adapting the water temperature of the heating system to the season, and minimizing the number of uses the washing machine and dishwasher using its maximum capacity, among others. Okay, so that's where I'm feeling a little bit yikes. Here we go. Here's the state stepping in and showing us all how to live and possibly fining us if we don't do it in that way. And for me, the interesting thing is with this is that I think if you take a long and overall view of what's available and what's possible technologically for humanity, we probably don't need to be doing this if we get our house in order and have different economic systems and models. I think there is, the doc would back me up on this, I'm sure. There really isn't really a shortage of resources. There is a problem in distribution and sharing. 'Twas ever thus with human beings, right? So for there to be restrictions at the front end like this, making people's lives a little bit more miserable, as if they didn't have enough to contend with already, is one way of dealing with it. But there might be other ways of dealing with it, which is to sort out the distribution and sharing issue rather than this constant idea of the propagandizing of limited resources. Okay, I've had me say. What do you have to say about that? And if I've incensed you so much that you think, idiot, Munson, what are you talking about? 00351 913 590 303. Thompson might get on the phone. Not that one. We've lost him this morning. But the other Thompson, Will Thompson, might still be here and might have a thing or two to say about that. Let's go back to your comments then, shall we? Going to need some dad jokes this morning after that. If the electricity is there to be had, well, I think you've been interrupted by a flow of other comments. Or not, maybe that was it. Maybe that was it, Gene. I wonder. And we'll come back to that as well. Where do we get to with all your lovely comments? Talking about mountains today. Love the high altitude. We got to the Tangerine Bank, didn't we? Guinness, tangerines, and Wordle this morning, plus many other things. The Serra Estrella is 6,500 feet, pretty much. Same height, even a bit higher than Denver. Okay, good night. See, we've kept her up, haven't we? She couldn't resist it. And she may still be listening, of course, as well, because we're just being far too interesting this morning. The cashback is for paying bills online and online purchases. I am awake, just new to this. Okay, right, Susan. How high is that long bridge? People get nervous crossing. Oh, Lisa, Andy can answer that because he sent me a fantastic picture. I might still have that somewhere here. The long bridge at where is it? I've got other things that he sent me that I haven't shared with you yet. His even though he's got herniated discs, it doesn't stop the fella getting out and about. Oh, and a lovely Basako poster as well. But I'm trying to find the long suspension bridge that Lisa M is mentioning here. I'm sorry, Andy. Can you send that to me again, mate? And what is it? I've forgotten the name of it. It's got a very hard to pronounce name, if I remember right. I remember that about it. So the long suspension bridge, which is transparent, and you can see the ground wobbling beneath you. How high and how long is that, Andy? Can someone else help us with that as well on Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday? Bon dia todos from Antonio F. And we've had, yes, we were talking about mountains, and we still might continue that theme. Did I miss the Yogi Berra quote? It's deja vu all over again. No, you didn't. And I've got a feeling I've seen that before, though. Well, hey, and Susie, Jean appreciating that. And I think she's already gone to sleep there, Antonio F. You nom de plume. It's hot in here. And I still have to go on Expats Portugal Forum to arrange a Vancouver Gumper meetup. So not only the online meetup for anyone, anywhere in the world this morning, as you can see from this poster here, but we've got Suze, who's talking about organizing a Vancouver Gumper meetup as well. So thank you very much for that, Suze. If there's anything you need help with on that, you just let us know. You know where we are. And I rarely go anywhere without my ears. Got my ears out. Yogi Berra as well. And great to meet you and Hank the other week, says Andy to you, Connie. Thanks for calling in earlier on, Connie. Really appreciate that. And Stephen Wells, if the doc is in the UK, he probably can't afford the electricity. There you go. He can't afford the electricity to charge his phone. That's been sorted out. And David Durham, don't you dare. Oh, when I see that, I'm thinking, yes, David. What? Carry on. Let's hear what your medical advice might be. What is it you know, Stephen, that makes you say that, however? And if you're trying to call Doc on WhatsApp, when he's not online, his phone won't ring at his end, even though you can hear it ringing. Should we try him one more time here? Let's find out, shall we? If he'll pick up for us now. No, still no answer, right? I'm thinking. So what is this, Chris? If you're trying to call Doc on WhatsApp when he's not online, his phone won't ring. Okay, so this is pointless then, isn't it? A pointless endeavor there. I don't think we're going to speak to him this morning. And we look forward to next month where we might get the chance to do so when he's back safely on Portuguese terra firma. It was so awesome to meet you, Andy, as well, working on the day for the next meetup in Porto. So do let us know about that, folks, here, so that we can share that with people. And so it will be nice to meet you and see your face on the meetup on Saturday night as well. Okay, let's filter through. It's time for some dad jokes, isn't it? Okay, dad joke warning then. Have you heard about the 12-step program for people who struggle to stop talking? It's called Anon, 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 and On. Very good. Yes. And I don't know why, but Sir Lancelot Spratt. And why not? And we'll come back to T-Duck's dad jokes, his little clutch of dad jokes, his groan of dad jokes before the end of the show. I love a pint of Guinness, says Trevor. We've shared with you, Trevor, where to get the best pint of Guinness here in Portugal, allegedly Al's Bar. Will Thompson, are you going to join us? Are you answering questions in the chat? I'm going to find out. Missing having a car, says Suze. Oh, successfully sold then. Climbed up the hill from Kitsilano Beach to 4th Avenue shopping. Knees still feeling it. That's okay. Getting thinner and stronger, and my God Squad efforts will pay off too. Well, thank you for mentioning the God Squad efforts. Coach Turner, hell of a guy, giving us God Squad tips of the day. I'm not seeing any photographs or videos of people trying them. It would be really great for Coach Turner, would it not? to see photographs of people actually trying out the techniques and tips that he so carefully, so thoughtfully puts together and shares with us most every day. So it'd be fantastic. Please say, please say, you don't have to be, you don't have to change into your best shell suit or anything like that for a photo shoot. Just a picture of yourself or a little bit of a report about how you're getting on with the God Squad tips of the day would be fantastic. What's this? How about saying, no, I'm not even going to try that. But what's going on there? What does that mean, Antonio? That's very advanced. Is that a very advanced Portuguese? I'm not sure. Sounds like a dinosaur as well, that the Esternocleido mastoido. As he's made me say something really filthy there live on air, I wonder. Those cars are so fun. Yeah, that was a lovely video. Enjoyed putting that together. And okay, I'm just going over a whole tranche of comments I missed out. We welcome to Halisi this morning as well, who is overwhelmed and overjoyed. And Joao F is here. Were you here in time to see your video, Joao F? I tried adding Casa de Padeira in Aljubrota to your interactive map, Carl. I don't think it took. Oh, okay. We're very much in beta with that, so maybe you need a little bit of help with doing that. How did anyone else get on okay with that? Let me just show you what's going on with what Suze is talking about. No, I'm not trying. Oh, stop screen. Stop sharing the Portugal resident for a moment, and let me share with you this interactive Google map that I mentioned. We've only got 2 Gumper pins on it at the moment. Okay, it's called the Gumper test layer. Oh, I need another sip, I think, of water kefir. And this is I'll put the link to this in the forum as well. So that's what Susie's talking about, trying to add Casa de Padeira in Aljubrota. But you'll see this map. It looks like any normal Google map, but this has been specially put together by Sarah Yeoman, our cycling expert, a passionate cyclist and lover of all things two-wheeled here in Portugal. And there is one of her favorite places in Setúbal. If I zoom out, you'll get to see the shape of Setúbal there, south of Lisbon, and you'll see a purple pin that's been dropped, and that would be, if I click on it, that is one of her favorite places in the Setúbal, Pão Doce, Chá, Café e Mercearia Fina. So this is Sarah's favorite bread bakery. They make other stuff too, but the bread is just outstanding. See, that's the sort of thing we can do with this map technology. Now, if I zoom out even more and I make my way up the coast does it look to you like a cougar that just gently sipping on the waters south of Lisbon? It always does to me. Anyway, going up to the Silver Coast now and zooming into São Martinho de Porto, you'll see another purple pin. And I've added the Palmeira Cafe myself to that, and I click on that, and it gives you a little bit of information. You see, that's where we'll be from 1 to 3 today. And you should be able to add things yourself. Have a little bit of a go with that. It is in beta at the moment, and Sarah and I will be happy to help with that. And that could be a great resource, could it not, to the Expats Portugal community and the Gumpers there. Okay, thanks for trying, Suze. Like button smashed. You have been busy this morning, haven't you? And are you there already having a Guinness? I'm in Cotera, loads of Irish bars in Villamora. It's like Dunlager without rain. Yes, people have made that comparison, have they not? It's like Ireland, but with sun. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. I need a bucket to hold a note, don't I? As somebody once said here. That was the Eagles, in case you weren't able to discern that. Hello, Joao, bon dia. Loved all the pics from the car show. To Joao F from Connie there. And Igualmente, says James, I missed the Morgan. Was it there? I think the Morgan was there. ESA stands for, sounds like that song from the 90s, doesn't it? ESA good, ESA good. ESA stands for European Association of Zoos and Aquaria, meeting in the south of Portugal. Off-gridders are rubbing their hands together and thanking their lucky stars that they are not as affected by the cost of living crisis. The cost of living crisis, that'll be Pete Bleach, won't it? Who's not here to gloat about that this morning. And I'm one of those lights off dads. Solidarity with you, Francis. Now the government does it for me. Goes around tutting when it finds a light off. It's probably a finable offence, or it will be soon. How about LEDs being required lighting? I think we're getting there, aren't we, with that? I mean, we've come a long way, haven't we? And we should give ourselves some credit for that. Finally, another light switch monitor. Finally understood my own father's motivations. What do you say, James and Francis? I say it's like flipping Blackpool illuminations in here. Why is this light on? And all of that harumph, 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 harumph around the house. Yes, we've all become our fathers. I don't know what pics you saw, but yes, the Morgan was there. I'll play it again at the end of the show so you can have another look at that. And yes, Denver is the mile high city with a cheeky smiley face there. What do you mean? Do I need to get out my pampas grass picture? I wondered. Though he was, what's this? Talking of light switch monitoring fathers, he was about the wasted cost, and I'm about the wasted energy. Yeah. And it was a video, and I would have been surprised if the Morgan was not there. He was. We'll have another look at the end of the show, which is coming up in a few minutes' time after a little clutch, a little groan of dad jokes. Sent a pic with Doc and company. Oh, hold on. Okay. Right. Who was it who sent that? Here's a proper riot shareable. Okay. We haven't been able to connect we could probably play. Can we play that YouTube video of Yogi Berra? Maybe not. I've already got myself in a little bit of trouble with YouTube, I suspect, this morning. We haven't been able to connect with the Doc, but we'll certainly have a picture of him, a look at his lovely face, and some others that you will recognize this morning as well. So let me just do that for you. We couldn't connect with him, unfortunately. We've got to make sure he's all right, haven't we? If we can do that, that'll be great. If somebody can reach out to him today, I'll keep trying as well. But we'll let you know tomorrow that the Doc is safe and well. And here he is on the screen for you now, far right. Oh, sorry, Leona. I'm putting a comment over your face like that. There she is, just peeking into the picture with Connie, with Hank, and with James as well. What a lovely picture. Little riot of gumpers there. They're definitely in Portugal. Just look at that furniture, the wooden cabinets and the marble top there. A bit of a giveaway as to their location. Thank you very much for that, James. Let's do T-Duck's dad jokes and your last few comments before we go this morning. Dad joke warning then. I got the results from my IQ test. They were negative. They say that money talks, but all mine says is goodbye. And 4 fonts walk into a bar. This is a good one, isn't it? 4 fonts walk into a bar. The bartender says, "Hey, we don't want your type in here." Very good. Thank you very much for those, T-Duck, and then the last few comments today. So sorry not to have been able to connect with the Doc this morning. We'll see him again next month. And we'll play that video for you one more time of all those lovely classic cars. I appreciate the exercise tips. Oh, that's good to know. Okay, so let's give Coach Turner a little bit of love. And if you could take a selfie of you balancing on the balls of your feet or swinging in the kitchen, careful, then do please send those into 913-590-303. Antonio F. Esternocleidomastoido is a difficult word, but a very famous one in Portugal as it was used in a classic Portuguese movie. That is the name of a neck muscle. Well, of course it is. Well, you didn't have to tell us that, Antonio. We knew that. Just rewinded a bit. Just rewind it a bit, and you can see several Morgans. Okay, we'll show that so that you can do that. And mine was right next to the dark green Jaguar, a K140, K150, I think, at the Marina de Cascais there. And what's this? Antonio F saying garrafa is used for drinks, while frasco is used for preserves, like a jar. Okay, frasco, the pickles. Oh, we found lime pickle at a little cafe last night in San Martino de Porto, having a little wander about. I think we found a really good quiet little curry house, and the man was making mango chutney or lime pickle on the. It's hard to see at the moment, but it looked very interesting. And I think it's going to prove to be very delicious. So we'll be back there, give you a review of that lovely little place that we found in San Martino de Porto, where we might be able to get a nice curry, homemade, home cooking curry there. Antonio, obrigado, and pasadizos de paiva. Okay, Aruca, Aveiro. And you have sent the pics of that really long and scary suspension bridge. Was it Lisa? Was it you that was asking about that? If you visit, you must go to the Casa do Bife Silva, the beef house restaurant there, and do stay tuned for this, because this is the picture of that long suspension bridge. Interestingly, a photograph from below. Andy wasn't on the bridge. He was photographing the bridge. And probably that's the excuse he might have given. Actually, I don't know. He's an intrepid sort of fella. But on this occasion, he might have said, it's okay. You go up there. I just need to get a photograph of it, which is what he's done for us here. So let's show you those. I think it was you, Lisa M, who was interested in the very long suspension bridge. Here it is for you. Let me just put that into the picture deck now. Superb stuff. Oh, sorry for coughing on you. Pasadizos de Paiva, Aruca, Aveiro district. There it is in the long shot. Wow. Oh, my goodness. And there it is from below as well. Superb. Who's up for that? That could make quite a nice little trip out for the Gumpers. Could it not? A nice little meet up there in the Aveiro district. Lots to see and do there. And of course, popping into the Casa de Bifes Silva restaurant there. That is a recommendation for Andy. Okay, we'll play that video one more time. Last couple of comments then. It's a hood thing. I woke up. Phone was at 1%. I need my alarm to go off for work. Yes. Isn't that terrible when that happens? Although a lot of phones will tell you, won't they, that you might not have enough juice to power your alarm. Good morning to you, Nubianet. Thank you for being here this morning. And I think we've got another couple of comments. Don't actually remember my dad being about that. He was more concerned that I didn't slam the car door to the other side of the car when I closed it. The things we remember. Incredible. Thanks, Andy, for those pics. And Halisi heard mile high. We are from Denver. Prices were out of control, up about 30% since May. My goodness, glad to be back in Lisbon. I can see some slight inflation since June here. Thank you for that insight, you globetrotter Halisi there. Good to hear those comparisons about what's going on in the world. Thank you. Thanks, Connie. I have a coffee date at a cafe on the Fraser River in the morning. That sounds very nice. Please take a pic and send it to us on 913-590-303. It's been lovely to welcome you, Halisi. Do join us again tomorrow. And everyone else, do please join us again tomorrow on Move to Portugal Thursday. It's a fifth Thursday, so we're going to have an unexpected item in the bagging area tomorrow. Between now and then, do please enjoy this video one more time of the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride and a couple of pics and a video from Sintra Air Base. And look forward to having more fun with you in the morning. More dad jokes, more deep thoughts, more quotes that inspire and set you up the right way for your day. Have a good one. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao.